A felon put out. You know, there's a story in the news. Where is this story? I've got to get to this story. There is a story in the news. Brian Erickson sent me this. I'll find it right here. Where, here we go. A woman is suing her bosses because she's suing her boss. Her boss is black, and she's black. And she received $250,000 in compensatory damages because the agency where she worked, which is one of these kind of scared straight things, the agency where she works, I'm going to read this directly, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to read it directly, and that includes the use of the N-word, and there is an FCC exemption if you are reading the word directly as it is written, and it is part of the story. So fair warning, if hearing the word N-I-G-G-E-R is going to offend you, turn off your radio for 5 minutes starting now. I'll read the story right now. Associated Press. A federal jury has rejected the argument that use of the N-word among blacks can be a culturally acceptable term of love and endearment, deciding its use in the workplace is hostile and discriminatory no matter what. Now, don't they know that Rachel Gentile already told us when you can use the N-word and when you can't? Jurors last week awarded $250,000 in compensatory damages to a black employment agency worker who was the target of an N-word-laced rant by her black boss, and they returned to a Manhattan federal court Tuesday to decide on punitive damages. The case against Rob Carmona and the employment agency he founded, Strive East Harlem, gave legal airing to what some see as a complex double standard surrounding the word. It's a degrading slur when uttered by whites, but can be used at times with impunity among black folk. And here we go. If you're going to be offended, turn it off. But 38-year-old Brandy Johnson told jurors that being black didn't make it any less hurtful to be the target of what her attorney called Carmona's, quote, 4-minute nigger tirade, end quote, about inappropriate workplace attire and unprofessional behavior. Johnson, who taped the March 2012 remarks after her complaints about his verbal abuse were disregarded, said she fled to the restroom and cried for 45 minutes. I was offended. I was hurt. Well, that sounds like Sheila Jackson Lee. I was offended. I was hurt. I felt degraded. I felt disrespected. I was embarrassed, she said. In closing arguments, Johnson's attorney, Marjorie Sharp, said Carmona's use of the word was intended to offend and, quote, and any evidence that defendants put forth to the contrary is simply ridiculous. She went on to say, I'm sorry, I'm reading it directly, so if the N-word offends you, turn the station now. When you use the word nigger to an African American, no matter how many alternative definitions that you may try to substitute with the word nigger, there is no difference than calling a Hispanic by the worst possible word you could call a Hispanic, calling a homosexual the worst possible word that you can call a homosexual male. But defense lawyers said the 61-year-old Carmona, a black man of Puerto Rican descent, had a much different experience with the word, and on and on and on. You know, I got to tell you, folks, especially black folks, get over it. Pick another word. Good grief. Ain't nobody white used the N-word in the last 20 years unless they were calling it the N-word because they're tiptoeing around. We're done with your little word. I got it. I got it. You got all of society by the... and you want to keep running with it. We're the most powerful nation on earth. We're the largest economy. We're the most powerful military. We have real issues to deal with. And you running around fretting over the use of the N-word and asking us to care. I'm done with it, okay? Go live in a third world country and sit around with nothing else to do than debate the use of the N-word. This is America. We have had a preoccupation with this silly little term. I'm more interested in the Kardashians, and I can't name one of them. Oh, I guess I can, Kim. Is she the cutest one? Whatever. Good grief! It's like one big national obsession with Honey Boo Boo, except it's been going on for how long now? I mean, really, y'all use it, we don't. Get over it. We don't really care. You can have funerals for the word. You can regurgitate it. You can make rap songs about it. We're done with it, okay? We don't care. Would you just leave us alone? Go do whatever it is you do, however it is you do it. Have Al Sharpton speak for you, and stop obsessing. Nobody's used it in 30 freaking years. And if somebody does, God forbid, we've got to have a national debate about it. You know, there is so much more interesting to talk about. I read Super Freakonomics over the weekend. That's a great book. I'd forgotten how good that darn book is. So wonderful to read a dispassionate discussion of incentives to human behavior unrelated to silly little things like the N-word. I'm as tired of the use of the phrase the N-word as I am the actual word itself. At some point, we're going to have to say, look, you people are going to, yeah, I said it, you people, whoever it is that's using this word, y'all are going to have to get over yourselves, because we're about done on the use of this. Think of how much time we spend talking about that silly word.
It's wrong to make fun of people, you know, but it's so fun sometimes. I've written for some TV shows, and, you know, on a major TV show, you have to be careful about what you say about people, because a lot of people could get offended, or so it has been explained to me. I'll tell you this, I was writing for an awards show once, and I got into some trouble. I wrote a joke for this awards show that had the word midget in it. And someone from the network came down to our offices, and he said to me, hey, you can't put the word midget on TV. And I said, I sure would like to. And he said, no, midget is as bad as the N-word. First off, no. No, it's not. Do you know how I know it's not? I said to him, is because we're saying the word midget, and we're not even saying what the N-word is. If you're comparing the badness of two words, and you won't even say one of them, that's the worst word. Also, I don't mean to gloss over what little people have been through in this country, but you cannot compare the plight of midgets to African Americans. That is outrageous. Midgets were never enslaved, unless you count the Wonka factory. So we get into this argument, we're going back and forth. He goes, you can't put that word on TV. And I said, I want to. And he goes, if you put that word on TV, there could be a protest of midgets on this building. And I said, promise?